Alright guys, in today's video we have even more PlayStation 5 info to go over and talk about, and we do have a lot to go over here, so just like yesterday's video, I'm going to be jumping right into it. But before we do, I want to ask that you take a second to leave the video a like to show your support and help the video out, and make sure you hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss any future PlayStation related content. But the first thing we're talking about here once again has to do with the price of the PS5, because we actually have a former Xbox executive weighing in, and I think this is important to highlight because we've seen a lot of people kind of give their predictions and let us know what we can expect, but I think it's important to pay attention to what this individual is saying because they have worked with almost every single generation of the Xbox console, and so I think maybe it's worth listening to what they have to say. So it says here, one of the most recent figures to weigh in is former Xbox marketing head Albert Pinello, who tweeted, quote, "No way this console is over $499, unquote, with some certainty when talking about the PlayStation 5's price point. And his tweet says, "I believe in the saying, never say never, but I gotta say never. No way this console is over $499. Having overseen marketing on the Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, Pinello certainly has the chops to comment on a situation like this. He also mused a little on how price would be the deciding factor on who, quote, wins this generation of the console war." And so he goes on to say, "Price in this generation may be the most important indicator of success, maybe even more than exclusives. There's never been a more divergent set of specs, features, and price points than I think we're going to see this generation. It will be fascinating. Someone should write a book." Now, I wanted to highlight this because I have to agree with what he's saying here. Now, obviously, I have not worked in the industry, let alone alongside 3 separate console generations. So I think what Albert Pinello is saying here definitely holds more weight than what I have had to say. But it's nice to see that we're in agreement here, where he is of the firm belief that there's no way Sony's going to go over $499. Another reason I'm deciding to highlight this is because since we talked a little bit about the PS5's price in yesterday's video, I've noticed that there are a pretty decent amount of people who seem to really believe that this console will in fact be more than $500. There's actually a lot of people who really are expecting a $550 or even $600 console. And as I've said before, I'm not saying that it's not within the realm of possibility, but we have Albert Pinello here saying that he's going to say never. And he never likes to say never. So I think that's pretty important to pay attention to here. I mean, the guy has worked with the Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, and he knows Sony pretty well, right? It's been their competition for all these years. So yeah, he's saying there's no way it's going to be over 500. Now, what he says here at the end when he talks about price being the most important indicator of success, he could be right, although I'm not sure if I 100% agree with that, because I think there's a lot of different things that motivate people to go out and buy consoles. Price is certainly one of them, but it automatically makes you think to the Xbox Lockhart or Series S console. If Microsoft is going to bring that console in at $299, like it's been rumored, then maybe, yes, Microsoft could have a much easier time gaining a foothold on getting some better market share here, but we'll have to see how big of a difference the price is going to make. I don't think it's going to be the biggest indicator of success, but who knows? Maybe it could be. But moving on from that, we're actually talking about the sales of these next generation consoles, because we have a prediction from an analyst letting us know what exactly they're expecting. And it seems as though they are expecting the PlayStation 5 to not only outsell the next generation Xbox, but to outsell it by quite a bit here. So it says an analyst firm has predicted that the PlayStation 5 will outsell the Xbox Series X by a significant amount. The PlayStation 4 has outsold the Xbox One throughout the entire console generation, and it does stand to reason that trend may continue, though there are many factors that could change the result, such as messaging and price. The projection published by Ampere Analysis estimated that the PlayStation 5 will sell through 4.6 million units by the end of 2020, with the Xbox Series X selling 3.3 million units in the same period. The gap between the two consoles is estimated to grow exponentially after that, with the PS5 projected to sell 66 million units by the end of 2024 versus the Xbox Series X selling 37 million units. So that is a pretty significant gap there for sure. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with it, but who knows? Maybe both of those numbers could be a little bit higher by that point in time, or lower. It says, however, Ampere did acknowledge that Microsoft is in a more competitive position than it was at the start of this generation, with better messaging to consumers and Xbox Game Pass, which the projection called a key competitive factor bolstering its reception. Additionally, Halo Infinite is an Xbox Series X launch game, the first time the series has aligned with a new console since the original Xbox's release in 2001, which should help with early sales. That being said, the report emphasizes that Sony is in a commanding position over Microsoft, with the PS4 selling more than double the Xbox One as of this year. That position is supplemented by a strong lineup of PlayStation 5 exclusives, many of which were shown off at the PS5 reveal event. Now, obviously, this is a pretty interesting prediction. It is just a prediction from, an analyst here, so we can't really look at it as concrete. I mean, for all we know, their predictions are no different than ours, but, they do have different data to back this up, and it is kind of their job to predict these things. So I have to say here, there's nothing that surprises me too much. I could very well see this being the situation. I mean, I do believe that a lot of Microsoft's initial success with the next generation Xbox will be from Halo Infinite, but I think when it comes to the long-term success, like whether or not they could really keep pace at all with the sales of the PS5 I think it's going to rely on this July event. I think they're going to have to show people stuff that's coming down the pipeline, even if it's a couple years away. That makes them much more interested in the Xbox brand than they previously were. However, I don't think there's really anything Microsoft could do to outsell the PlayStation 5. I do think there are many things they can do, though, to try to regain lost market share and keep pace with the PS5, though. So I wanted to take some time to highlight that. And we're also talking about this digital PlayStation 5 event one more time, because it seems as though this event has completely stomped E3, and I find this interesting because I've seen people saying, Sony is the new E3, and I thought maybe that's a little bit, hyperbolic, but then I'm looking at these statistics, and I'm listening to these reports, and I'm like, oh, maybe it is. So it says PS5's digital event generated more video views than PlayStation's last E3 and PS4's reveal. Says, as of Monday, the PS5 reveal event videos have amassed more than 80 million combined views, which is double PS4's first E3, which is at about 40 million, and significantly higher than the PS4's own reveal event, around 53 million, or PlayStation's most recent E3 showing from 2018, that coming in at 55 million. The figures, which are based on YouTube views from the official PlayStation videos, demonstrate the huge demand for new information on Sony's next generation console. They also show PlayStation can still generate significant engagement without a physical presence at E3, which the platform holder has declined to attend for the past 2 years. And so we all know that E3 was essentially canceled this year, and I think they're going to try to make a return next year, but I don't know. I think that this was an important moment for Sony to prove that they can still be just as relevant without E3. I don't think anybody doubted that, to be completely honest. But not only are they proving that they can be extremely relevant without E3, but they are pretty much, I don't know, man, they're capturing everybody. And I think Microsoft will prove that they can. I think they've already proven this, but I think they will be able to prove as well that they don't need E3. Although, I don't know, has Microsoft proven that? I feel like Microsoft's been doing like the inside Xbox stuff, and I don't think that stuff has been nearly as exciting to most Xbox fans as tuning into Xbox's E3 show. But come this July, I guess we'll find out if Microsoft can hold their own without E3. I'm sure they will. And so I just wanted to highlight this because I've been talking to you guys about just how big of a deal, how impactful this event really was. But there you go. There's some of the numbers and the statistics. And if you were wondering if the PS5 is a bigger deal than the PS4, seems like it is, at least based off of these numbers. And so the final topic of the day has to do with a market research firm claiming that PlayStation events generate a higher interest than Xbox events. Says market research firm DFC Intelligence has said that consumer interest in Xbox events, quote, pale in comparison to PlayStation events, and for now, the company continues to predict a sales advantage for Sony. So it says here, one measure of how excited an audience is about new systems is how many non-industry consumers contact us about product reveal events. Starting on May 7th, Microsoft will be hosting a monthly reveal event, or monthly reveal events, which is known as Xbox 2020. However, the interest we have seen in the Xbox events paled compared with the June 11th Sony event, which may be a reason Microsoft is skipping a June event, because apparently Microsoft had a June event in the works, or a small event, but now they're either skipping it or really reducing it down to like maybe an article or something like that. That's what I've heard. While DFC analyst thinks PS5's lineup looks solid so far, they believe nothing earth-shattering has been revealed, but added that Sony might be holding off big announcements and surprises. Now, I find this interesting because these are analysts who are saying this, and I know that a lot of us don't take them seriously, but this is exactly what I've been thinking as well, is that Sony certainly has some big things revealed, and I do agree that I don't think they showed off anything at this event that would be considered earth-shattering, like, whoa, like, I would have never seen that coming in a million years. I mean, I think maybe the Spider-Man thing was kind of a surprise, but we expected Horizon and Gran Turismo and maybe Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. And that's not downplaying them. I'm just saying, like, we have yet to see, like, the big secret surprises, right? Goes on to say, that said, DFC noted that Microsoft has an advantage over Sony in terms of market cap, which gives the company plenty of investment opportunities to build a better lineup. Another advantage that analysts think Xbox has over the PlayStation is its Game Pass system. Game Pass has over 10 million subscribers versus only 2.2 million for PlayStation Now. Our testers love Game Pass, but we have a hard time finding people to try PlayStation Now. Instead of being a shoddy streaming service a la PlayStation Now or Google Stadia, although I'm pretty sure you can download PS4 games from PlayStation Now, if I'm not mistaken, Game Pass lets you download full games for both console and PC. So, see, I think they may be off the mark here on this one, because somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can download at least PS4 games to your console, at least some of them, through PlayStation Now. Maybe that's something that Sony needs to do a better job at marketing, potentially, if people are not aware of that. But again, I could be wrong. But I wanted to highlight this stuff because it's, you know, now that we've seen the PS5 event, obviously everybody is now starting to make their predictions on, okay, how can we, you know, based off of all this new info we have, how is this next generation going to play out? And it seems that as of right now, not much has changed. A lot of analysts are predicting that the PS5 is going to continue to outsell Xbox or whatever they're offering. Although there's no doubt that Xbox is in a much better position this time around, and I do think this conversation will become that much more interesting once we see what Microsoft has up their sleeve come July. So hopefully you did enjoy the video, guys. At this point, I'm going to ask you to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, leave it a like if you did enjoy it or if you did find it informative. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.